What's up, guys? Coach Brian. Wanted to pop off a little bit of a dragon slaying video for today. We're going to be talking about the concept of the fit thinker. All right, so here's the concept. And I have to kind of describe it to you first. So, a lot of people that I come into contact with have a kind of a stuck mentality. So they become stuck in this fixed mindset where they've lost a lot of hope, a lot of belief in themselves, a lot of belief in the world and society, because it's constantly thrown at us. That there's something wrong, something terrible going on. And part of that dilemma that it creates is this constant fear, constant anxiety, and constant I guess anguish, like internal anguish. Let me just tell you, we can't help it. We still have a lot of hierarchical type of thought processes that have helped our species last for millions of years through evolution. So part of the issue is like, when deer are out in the field, they're eating, they look up, they look back down, they're looking for the predator, right? Because, getting eaten by the predator is super important for the survival of their species. So it's kind of pre-programmed into their brains. So we're very lucky in our world to where we don't have to, focus on like predators. We have to watch for cars. We don't have to focus on predators. So what happens is, and how that manifests into our brain, is we're constantly looping back into stress and stressful thought. So we're looking for the stress. Like, did we turn off the oven? Did we pay our bill? Did we, help our kid brush their teeth? All these types of really quick hits as far as stress. And a lot of times we can become stuck in that loop. And once we become stuck in that loop, it creates a negative template, a negative external world that our bodies has interpret as us living in a stressful external world. So to compensate for that, our body produces stress hormones. And those stress hormones affect our hormones for sexual health, affects our brain health, our cognitive skill levels, affects our cardiovascular system, how much and how hard our heart beats, because the adrenaline is constantly turned on to the heart. And then eventually it gets into the gut, and then the gut takes over and becomes inflamed, and their gut gets messed up. All kinds of crazy things happens behind that. Joints start to hurt, and then the thyroid starts messing up. Actually, it's a phenomenon where the body actually starts to attack the thyroid in people in high stress environments. This constant barrage of stressful thought, we're just looking for the primordial snake or the predator that's not there anymore. So the stress happens constantly, and that's all that we see. So part of that whole scenario is this process of a mental acuity. Mental acuity is super important. So mental acuity, I've talked about this in other posts before. Mental acuity is a phenomenon that kind of goes like this. When you buy a car, you think that no one else has that car until you drive off the lot with that car. Then you realize, because now that you're focused on that particular shape, model, brand of car, that literally everybody has that car. So you can imagine if our brains are formatted that way, that has the ability to filter out all this information and this perception of the world. If our mental acuity is constantly focused on the negative, what's that going to do to our bodies? What's that going to do to our minds? What's that going to do to our relationships? What's that going to do to our families? And more importantly, what's it going to do to you? So to kind of reinforce that a little bit, I'm going to talk about a little process called this little video. This process of perception in this little video I'm about to show you in after this little section, and I want you to watch it. So the video is made for you, and I want you to pay particular attention. I want you to watch how many times the team in white passes the ball. I want you to be very, very particular about it. I want you to watch very closely. Make sure you get the count right. The count matters. So I also want you to put into the comment section below the count total that you got.
The basketball. How many passes did you count? The correct answer is 15 passes. But did you see the gorilla?
Alright, so we're back from the video, and you guys saw the significance of the video. The ball was passed, and 15 times the ball was passed amongst the team in white. But there was a significant part of the video that you may have missed. 80% of the people that watched that video missed a whole gorilla walking through the scene. So what does that tell us about perception? So perception is, we have to be able to filter out so much stuff in our lives. And if our mental acuity is focused on one thing, we can miss literally a gorilla walking through the screen. So that being said, if you're constantly focused on negative, you could possibly be missing a happy gorilla walking through your life that could literally change your whole thought process, because you're stuck in that stinking thinking domain. Speaking of stinking thinking, we've got a video on the Shut Up Be Clean YouTube video page to watch if you want to know more about stinking thinking. So back to the subject. So if you're one of these type of people, what do you do? What do you do to fix being stuck in this negative mindset? All right, I'm gonna take my glasses off for a second because it's super important in this part. I want you to really connect with me. Don't fret if you're stuck in this. You can get out. There's a way out of it, and it takes some time, and you have to be hard but patient on yourself. So it's a kind of like a loving parenting type situation, knowing that you're doing something wrong, but also being caring enough to stick with the process, not being hard on yourself because you're doing it. So you have to think about it being, just like we're teaching you how to get your steps, get your sleep. All these things are tools toward a wellness program. You have to that has to be developed over a linear time domain. This whole program for the Fit Thinker also has to be developed over a linear program as well. So you're not going to fix it in a day, but if you can keep yourself in a growth mindset and apply it and practice it and get better at it, then you can defeat it. So how do you defeat it? So one of the practices that we have initiated in the Shut Up Be Clean is mindfulness training. So Part of that is, flipping that mental acuity and placing it onto something else. So this is one thing that can help you with how you change your entire mental mindset, your external stimulus of your world, everything that's around you, with this one thing. I want you to take a dry erase marker and I want you to write "I love you" on your mirror. Just write "I love you" on your mirror. And what that does is every morning when you brush your teeth, every day when you brush your hair, every time when you wash your face, you're gonna see that, and you're gonna say that to yourself as you're doing it. And that creates a different mental landscape, different mental acuity. And at least, if anything else, if no one's told you "I love you" all day, and if they haven't, "I love you," Jesus loves you, then you're telling yourself you love you, and there might be more people telling you that they love you. You may not be hearing it. So if we could flip your mental acuity toward love, we can change a lot of this situation in our world. So, the job of our society on the whole is to help people transcend from it. We gotta transcend it. We gotta become better. We gotta help everybody around us. And it all starts with that. We gotta fix our mindset and go to a process of fit thinking. We're gonna be dropping